I want all the women in here to hear this. You hear what she just said, right? You had your guards up because of your past things, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is why men like younger women because they don't have those experiences, those trauma as decisions that you done been through your whole life that's keeping your guard up from me. This is why we date younger women.
We
Hold
established
on.
this.
Number two,
I just think
this
they
is
prettier.
why it's important to marry while you are young. You guys are supposed to marry young and grow old together. You don't supposed to come with these fucking traumas from your past, traumas from our past, all this shit. But in our culture, it becomes the norm. And we try to find a way to cope with it and call it regular life. This is not regular life. The way we grew up is not regular life. And somehow we find a way to make an excuse for this shit. We're not supposed to have all these goddamn kids by all these different women. We're not supposed to be running around this motherfucker fucking hoes and doing all this shit and women dressing like hoes and acting like niggas. Everybody is out of nature. Everybody. Both sides are fucked up. So now you have all these people coming in with they bullshit, and we trying to match with each other and see who bullshit outweighs or underweighs each other. This is why we all are single, because all us got shit going on. Anything a motherfucker do is a trigger to us now. Anything.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't been with that many partners or been around these many situations that
Mm-hmm.
everything a motherfucker knew do, you didn't saw it before.
Mm-hmm.
So at what point can you open up if you saw everything? Think about this. What point can you open up if you, oh, I remember my ex nigga did that, or my ex bitch did this, or he did that, and she did this, and it's looking familiar. So these is why these gods is coming up, because we have too many partners and too much experience. We're not supposed to be like this, bro. We supposed to meet our wives in high school, stay with her to college, marry her, and be with her for the rest of our lives and learn. This is how it's supposed to be. Is it like that? No, that's not the norm in our culture, because we grew up without daddies, grew up in the hood, grew up with pimps and hoes, with gangsters and all this extra shit, drug selling. We didn't live normal lives. Our lives are fucked up where we come from.
Yeah.
And somehow we try to make sense of it and make excuses for our bullshit. Every person in here that did some dumb shit. And I'll raise my hand and say me first.
Yeah.
But I look back and say, damn, I wish I could have started over. Because I'm the person that I always wanted to be now. And it hurts me so bad that I didn't marry the mother of my children. That shit hurt, bro.
All right, let's go ahead and get into it, man. I like the message that you put out there because going into 2025, we got to start looking at things a little bit deeper, and we have to start to like really look to see what's going on. One of the things I noticed that he blamed both the men and women. He said both everybody messed up out here. You know, we always trying to point the finger saying this gender did this, this gender did that, but we all bringing some effed up things to the table. He also mentioned about the advantages of marrying young. So I'm gonna kind of kick it off with that. What do you guys think about marrying young, as far as when it comes to men? Because the point that he made was that the men out here dating as well, and they are also bringing their traumas to these relationships. So do you think that it's an advantage for men to marry young and to actually grow with that person?
I mean, what? I don't know. Let me ask you this: what did they consider young? I mean, I know he said out of high school, but there's no way I would recommend a young man to marry a woman out of high school. Maybe after college, maybe. Then you're looking at a 21, 22-year-old young man looking to be married. Maybe then. But that answer, man, 2024. That's a hard ask. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't imagine. I could imagine, you know, advise my son to do something like that. So that's my only thing about young. So I say college age. I can rock with that. Anything younger than that, no, I wouldn't recommend it.
Okay, can you tell us why you wouldn't recommend it?
Because I believe the mindset as a man, you're supposed to provide a lot, and, mentally, I can't see an 18-year-old in 2024 providing that for a woman. Nothing serious. I mean, just emotionally, he's just not going to be completely there. My son graduated when he was 17 in high school. I couldn't imagine him talking about that next year. Daddy won't get married. Nah, bullshit. Yeah. Just hold on. So mentally, I don't think they're ready for that, because they're still selfish. They still thinking about themselves and then what they want to do and all that, and they don't have any idea about what type of sacrifice you have to make. I mean, you could try to explain them to you blue in the face. They still not gonna get that.
Okay. What about you, Viz?
Yeah, I came extremely close to marrying my high school sweetheart. At the time, I would, especially now as an adult, I would definitely agree with Hank. Even though I wanted to do it, I thought I was ready for it. However, I definitely don't think that it was the right time. Simply because, and I think that this, of course, changes over the years, but I don't know if I would have, if that woman, even though she was an amazing woman, I don't know if that woman would have been the right person that I truly needed to feel comfortable with spending the rest of my days with, just to keep it a buck. Especially, again, being young, having that promiscuous stage that, we all go through or whatnot, exploring, not only outside, but even ourselves. So I don't recommend it. However, I think that it does work for certain people. If you're mentally ready to take on that huge dedication at such a young age.
Okay. What about you, Kenny?
Well, as I think back and look at this question, maybe the gentleman is right, because we have a lot of regrets when we get older. That common saying, I wish I knew then what I knew now. I think that also takes a place with being in a budding relationship that would lead to a wedding and finding a life partner. But they say, young man, your prefrontal lobe is fully developed by age of 25. I think you should give it some time before you're able to make decisions and be able to focus. College, I agree with Hank. Around the time when you have a certain direction, you got a little bit of accomplishment under your belt, you find somebody that's willing to roll up their sleeves with you. You go through the good, bad, and indifferent and stick with it. We find like the biggest thing between relationships, people are so quick to give up. They don't want to rough it out. They think love is the only thing that's consistent with it. They forget the cornerstone of relationships, which is duty. I'll leave it right there.
All right, go ahead, Law. I know you're about to say something.
Yeah, bro. I got a little bit of something to say on this particular subject, being of the fact that, like, honestly, I feel like in my scenario, I'm an anomaly, right? Like, me and my wife have been together since high school. You know what I'm saying? Like, all the way through. We had great times, hard times, this, that, and the other. But it was at a certain point where we knew this was it. You know what I'm saying? This was going to be what we going to do. We had children young. My first daughter, my oldest she'll be 23 in less than 15 days, right? You know what I'm saying? Like that's my oldest, and I'm a fairly young dude, as they would say. I'm 40. I'm 42, right? So my oldest will be 23 next month. and me and her mother have been together and had 3 more children after her. My oldest is 22, be 23. My youngest is 5 years old. However, we understood at a certain time, like, we want these same things for our children. So we need to do what we need to do to make sure that those are some things that we get done. We have common goals, we have common interests, we know what's important, just based on the values that we built a long time ago. So yeah, it can happen, but like I said, I feel like that's an anomaly. You dig what I'm saying? It's not something that happens often, but it is something that can happen. But I always talk about probability versus possibility. Will it
Hey,
probably
but
happen? No. Can it happen? Yeah.
Law, would how impactful was it that you guys had a child young in that decision?
Uh, I don't know. I don't think the child was first. What it was more so of what I wanted and what I saw coming up. You know, my parents were together 35 years plus till my father passed. Right? You know what I'm saying? Like that was something that I only understood to be what it was. You know what I'm saying? The nucleus was me, my mother, my father, my sister, us four.
Mhm.
You dig what I'm saying? So it was something that was like really ingrained in me, like what I expected and what I wanted. I was also groomed up to be very particular and know what we think is this way and what it should be. And that was something that I wanted to live up to. You know what I'm saying? Those values were instilled in me very young. So I had core values that I knew made a good family. You know what I'm saying? And that was something that I wanted to continue. And for me, it's ingrained in me. You know what I mean? It's nothing, there's nothing more important. You dig what I'm saying? I can do whatever I want, whenever I want, but at the end of the day, that is most important. You dig? Like that's it for me.
All right, what about you, Marcus?
So in a perfect world, I 100% agree with what you said. But in the world we live in, that's how you get a Travis Hunter and old girl, where a dude don't have any experience and end up getting with a thought, and he pulling her along for the relationship because he don't have the wherewithal or the experience to understand, hey, this is not a good look. So I tend to lean on the side that men, specifically men, need to have experiences that help them determine when women are for them, right, or if they for the streets. Then moving forward, if you as a man have established that you want a family and you go dedicate your life to the family, then move forward. I don't know if everyone is in the exact position where it's when they turn 18, the first thing on their mind is I want to, get married and build a family. I know I wasn't thinking about that. I was trying to live my life, and I was living it selfishly. So when I did have kids, I wouldn't have this, oh, I wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't for my kids. I would be doing this if it wasn't for my kids. So I wanted to make sure I never had a thought or inkling of that, because I've heard parents say stuff like that they don't like. So the way I tried to like plan my life out was that I did everything I wanted to do first, and then I could dedicate the second half to them. You know what I'm saying? Or the middle portion, however that should work out. But I do agree to having mothers and fathers in a home is probably one of the most instrumental things you can do for your children out of anything. Because like I've seen the results of when it's just a mother or when a kid raising themselves, and it's independent of the environment. You could be in the worst hood in the world, but with two good parents, that can make the world a difference. You could be in the best suburb in the world with one parent and be out here wilding the fuck out. So yeah,